Hello everybody and welcome again to the news. My name is Brian. I work for touringplans.com, an excellent website that will help you save time on your Disney or Universal vacation. We have crowd calendars that tell you when to go. We have touring plans that are amazing. They'll tell you which order to do the rides. You can personalize them to your date, your attractions, put dining, put Fast Pass in there. It's so cool. So go to touringplans.com and make sure you subscribe. As I said, this is the news. I kind of thought this one was going to be very Star Wars Galaxy's Edge heavy. This past weekend was Star Wars Celebration in Chicago. This is a Star Wars fan event where they talk about, well, Star Wars. And there was a panel on Galaxy's Edge, and we thought, oh, cool. We're going to find out some cool details. We found out a little bit about some of the merchandise. Their big announcement was this: Coke products. Yeah. So these are themed Coke, Diet Coke, Sprite, and water that are going to be in the land, and cool, I guess. I don't know. What has been brought up a lot is how the Harry Potter lands at Universal do not have any soft drinks in them whatsoever. They have only in-world drinks. Of course, you can get, beers that aren't mentioned in the books, but nobody likes to bring that one up. So Galaxy's Edge will serve Coke, and it will be themed. All right, so what I've decided to do, since I'm a little short on fun news, is go through one of my favorite things to do, and that is look at some aerial photos of construction going on right now at Walt Disney World and Universal Orlando. These photos are, as usual, courtesy of BioReconstruct on Twitter. His handle is BioReconstruct, as you see right here on the screen. Give him a follow. He is amazing and puts up so many valuable photos if you are interested in this type of stuff. And if you are still watching, presumably you are. So first, where else could we start but Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, which opens in Disney World on August 29th. Let me shrink myself up so we can see these photos. All right, here we are looking across all of Galaxy's Edge at Hollywood Studios. Now keep in mind, the Disneyland version is opening sooner. That is opening May 31st. Presumably that is farther along than this. I hope so anyway. But the really good photos are of the one in Florida, so that is what we are looking at here. So to orient you with my giant arrow, all the way on the left over here, this is the entrance from Grand Avenue. Right here is what's left of the Streets of America down here. Down to the left is Muppet Vision 3D, Baseline, Tap House, things like that. This section right here, this is Rise of the Resistance, and this is kind of the Resistance Forest, although trees are still a little sparse at the moment. This is the Rise of the Resistance attraction, this big guy right here. In the middle, now we get to Black Spire Outpost. All of the shopping and dining and things are. We'll talk about more of those as we get to the closer pictures. This building here is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. I love seeing these spires here from this angle where you can see that there's just nothing below them. Obviously, you can't notice that from the ground. And then off to the right here is the entrance from Toy Story Land that we assume will be the exit for at least the time being. And now this is a better look at the Resistance Forest area. This big thing we think is going to be the exit for Rise of the Resistance. Over on this side here will be Savi's workshop, where you can build the custom lightsabers. The queue is kind of down here. It's a little bit off the screen at the bottom and comes around this way. Now, I should mention before I go on, there are going to be spoilers for a lot of this stuff. If you're not interested in that, either skip ahead or I will see you next time. We know Rise of the Resistance starts off with kind of a very elaborate pre-show beginning of the ride where you get on a shuttle that is piloted by Nine Numb, and you get off into a giant hangar where you have been captured by the First Order, and then from there you go into the ride vehicle. This right here, as far as I understand, is a turntable, and that is basically where you are getting on the shuttle. Then it spins you around and you come out this side back into the show building. So presumably right here is where the giant First Order hangar is, and then you move throughout the rest of it and exit out this way. All right, moving away from Rise now, we get to the Black Spire Outpost here, and we change the perspective a little bit. So this out here on the right is what is the exit into Toy Story Land. This building here is Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run that you can see here. Now, a good way to orient yourself looking at these pictures is to find this shuttle. This is sitting on top of Docking Bay 7, which will be the primary dining, quick service dining. This big square open area, this is kind of the entry to what is going to be a market area, which is where some of the smaller shops are going to be, Toydarian and Toymaker. And you can see that here where it's kind of this open path. This round thing down here, I believe to be Rondo Roasters, which will be another quick service eatery. Over here, I think this one maybe is Oga's Cantina. I'm saying I believe and I think a lot in here because I don't know for sure which building is which. I'm just piecing things together from what I have heard. As I said, I believe this one to be Oga's Cantina. Not honestly sure what the rest of these buildings are. Doc Ondar's Den of Antiquities is one of the bigger shops, so that could be one of these in here. This pad back here, I think, is where the Echelon TIE Fighter is going to be. So this back here is presumably the First Order area where the First Order merch will be sold, things like that. You can see people down here working on the stone, everything like that. It's starting to feel real close now. Okay, now this is outside of Galaxy's Edge, but this is where the new Star Wars Hotel will be. This is not opening, obviously, with Galaxy's Edge. It may not even open next year. This might be a 2021 kind of thing. But they have started the foundational work. This is where the hotel is going to be. Presumably there will be things like parking out here and whatnot. As you can see, it is right behind Galaxy's Edge. This is the Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run building and the Rise of the Resistance building. You can see a crane truck right there for scale on this stuff. Those are pretty big buildings. Now, as part of the renovation of Hollywood Studios in preparation for Galaxy's Edge, they are redoing the entryway. So this is where you enter Hollywood Studios. Obviously the water here. This is now what is the security area. Then the ticket booths are here, and the actual touch dials into the park are a little bit off the screen on the top right there. If you are coming from the Friendship boat, you would come from this path on the right. If you are coming from the buses or the parking lot, you would be coming from this path on the left. Now, what is changing here is this big building right here, which is going to be the new security area. From this angle, it does almost seem a little odd that it's kind of off to the side here, but this is clearly a much, much bigger security area to get people in a little bit faster, because these little bag check areas down here, you can see there's a bunch of temporary ones set up right there. Those will just not be enough. And this is a big overview angle here, the parking lot, obviously there on the left. Down here, this is the entry and the touch styles right there, and Hollywood Boulevard, you can see Echo Lake. Over here, this right at the bottom of the screen here is the new Skyliner station, the gondola system that will be opening pretty soon. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Looks like maybe people will be exiting the gondola from right here. Right here is the walkway that comes from the bus area, which is back off the screen to the left here. So a lot of people will be coming straight down here. Now you can see kind of why this is angled this way. They would be pointing basically right at this curve, walk straight in. From the boats, it seems like it's going to be a little awkward. You're probably going to have to walk around this way a little bit, go in, unless they set up separate security for the boat. This right here is going to be the new tram drop-off. When the tram comes in, see there's a little tram right there. It will just pull in here and drop people off right there, and then they will all come through security on this side. See, now it makes a little bit more sense. Presumably by the time Galaxy's Edge opens, this will all be squared away. All right, now let's get into some other attractions. We're going to jump over to Universal Orlando Resort. Next attraction that's actually going to open at any of these parks is Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, a name that I will always have to second guess. This is in the Hogsmeade section of Islands of Adventure. Of course, a Harry Potter themed coaster, if you are familiar at all. The name Hagrid probably jumped out to you in there. This is the Hogsmeade section down here in the bottom corner. The Hogwarts Castle is kind of off the bottom of the screen here. This right here is the Hogsmeade station of the Hogwarts Express, and this is the building right there for that. So the entrance to the Magical Creature Coaster will be right here, right under this blue tarp. They are redoing the entryway. This used to be Dueling Dragons, then was Dragon Challenge when it was reskinned for Harry Potter. That was torn completely out. This is an all-new attraction on the same plot of land. So you come in here, head up this way. This over on this side is the load and unload building, and presumably quite a bit of indoor queue in here. You get on the train, which will look like Hagrid's motorcycle and sidecar. So you will either be in the motorcycle half or the sidecar half, depending which side you're on. Come out this way, around here, through Hagrid's hut right here, where there is rumored to be an animatronic Hagrid himself, and maybe even something, say, a blast-ended Scroot, which you would only know if you read the books. There is a part here where you will kind of stop at an angle and then start to go backwards. The backwards section loops around here and into this building. In this building is where the drop track is. So you will be caught in Devil's Snare, and then the entire track will literally drop you end the train, and then you will continue out and back around here and eventually end back in the building. They have started to release some of the creatures that will be on here. One of them will be Fluffy, the three-headed dog that is hiding behind this rock right there in this picture. You can't see him. There will be Cornish pixies that are hanging around Arthur's old Ford Anglia, which you will see a little bit better in just a minute. There will be a unicorn that's kind of right at the end over here. And as I said, a blast-ended Scroot, which is really hard to explain. It's kind of this weird blind scorpion thing that shoots fire, and they seem like nasty pieces of work anyway. This coaster will have several launches, somewhere I think in the 5 or 6 range. Think of like Slinky Dog Dash, if you've been on that yet, where there's that part where you kind of stop and then get launched again. This is basically that, only several times. And then here is more detail. This is the load building there. This is a train actually testing on it right now. And right here, this is the Ford Anglia, where several of the Cornish pixies are around. And you can see it kind of goes off the top of the screen here, but this is the track. Then you pause up here, and then you start your backwards journey around here and into the drop track building. You can see in here in the track, it looks like these are some launch points in there. Presumably you will be stopped there to see something. Oh, and here right there is Fluffy. So it makes sense that you would get stopped right there, where you would see Fluffy, the three-headed dog. See 1, 2, 3, right there, and then get launched out and around and then back up there. All right, now we are going to switch to Epcot, where there are a few new things, and we are starting with the one that's not a ride. This right here, this semicircle, is the Space Restaurant that we don't really have a name for, that's being built next to Mission Space. This building here is Mission Space. As you can see, it looks like it's, getting there. Don't know when this is going to open. My guess would be sometime from, late 2019 is kind of a pie in the sky, through maybe summer of 2020, but they really haven't said anything yet, so that is just a guess. Now, I believe this whole curved section will be the giant screen that makes it look like you are in space. Again, not sure on that one. You can see in the background here the Wonders of Life Pavilion that will be turned into the Play Pavilion at some point in the future, probably again 2021 maybe for that one. And then back here is the old Ellen's Energy Adventure, which is becoming the Guardians of the Galaxy roller coaster that will open probably 2021 on that one. Most of this building will be indoor queue, load, unload, that kind of thing. And from there, now I know in this picture it kind of looks like it's attached to Wonders of Life here. It is not. It is attached to the former energy building, which is right there. And then you will come out, and they are starting to put the track in, and this is the gigantic building where the rest of the ride will be. And you can kind of see there is like the back end of an 18-wheeler right there next to the building, that you can see how much bigger it is. I mean, heck, look at these cranes right there. They reach like halfway up. Over in the France Pavilion of Epcot, this is the Ratatouille ride that is being built. So this is the promenade, the bridge that goes over towards the UK. This is the rest of the France Pavilion. You can see the little Eiffel Tower sitting up there. This could be a 2020 attraction. It could be an early 2021 attraction. Again, we just don't know how this is going to work. Or literally all of the construction crews could be at Galaxy's Edge, except for, I guess, these guys down here. And now this one will transition us from attractions to Skyliner, the gondola system. You can still see Ratatouille over here. Some of the extra facade work that's being done on France. This is where the creperie that was just announced is going to be is over on this side somewhere. Again, no idea when that's opening either. Disney hasn't been forthcoming with a lot of the dates past, this year. And that is opening this year is the Skyliner, the gondola system. This is the Epcot station. This one is not as far along as the others. My theory is that this will be kind of a phase 2 addition because of the building not being done and partially because they are not testing any gondolas on this line, which they are on the others. This is the Friendship Boat Station, currently where the tickets are sold, and then we have the security and the entrance. That actually has changed a little bit very, very recently. If you are now going to Epcot, you go through the bag check right there. There are walls up all over here. And then the actual touch styles to get in are kind of down this way a little bit. They are expanding the security and touch style areas for the International Gateway of Epcot here because many more people will be coming in once that Skyliner station is operational. Let's check out some of the other Skyliner stations. This is the main hub. This is the one at Caribbean Beach. Right here, these yellow buildings are the Jamaica section of Caribbean Beach, then Aruba behind it. Over here, we have Trinidad and Barbados. So from this picture, you get a pretty good idea of the heart of the system. From this building, you will be able to go 3 different directions. There's this one that goes over Caribbean Beach, straight to the Riviera Hotel Station. You can see the Riviera being built right there. I'll have another picture of that in a minute. And then from there, you can go to Epcot, the one we just looked at. On the bottom here, this path goes towards Pop Century and Art of Animation. We'll see that again in a minute. And then this one goes towards Hollywood Studios. As you can see, this line and this line have actual gondolas on them. You can see them wrapped in white right there. And they've been testing those for quite a while. And as far as I know, they haven't really started testing this line at all. But my guess is that they are going to run these 2 lines here first as kind of a pilot program to see how it handles that, how they perform, and then add the other 2 segments on later. This is the other angle, so now you see Trinidad over here for Caribbean Beach. We're facing the other way. The Caribbean Beach station is off the screen to the bottom here. This is the path that goes towards Pop Century and Art of Animation over here. Again, there is the station right in the middle of the lake. We don't know exactly when the Skyliner is going to open. Supposed to be summer this year, 2019. The way they are testing already, I wouldn't really be shocked to see them go operational by, Memorial Day-ish, end of May kind of range, at least on those 2 lines, with the other 2 maybe coming the end of the summer kind of thing. I am sure by the time Galaxy's Edge opens at the end of August, they would love to have all the segments open. Not sure whether it will happen. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, now we'll move on to hotels. We are starting here with the Riviera just because you've already seen part of it. This is kind of the other angle. Jamaica, Aruba. Ooh, I want to take you. Right down here is the gondola station. You can see the poles that lead out to a turn up there at the boardwalk and then go towards Epcot. This is going to be the entrance for the Riviera. It does not open until December 16th, which is why it doesn't look super done yet. This one, however, the Gran Destino Tower, this is at Coronado Springs. So this is where you currently check in and where the food court is at Coronado Springs. This is the new Gran Destino Tower. This one opens July 9th, so this is not that far away. What is hidden behind here is the Three Bridges new dining area. You can see that a little bit in this one. Back here is the new restaurant, bar, and the aforementioned Three Bridges that link the different sections of Coronado, which is was badly needed. You can see they're starting to put decorative elements. Up here is the rooftop dining area that will have some very nice views. This opens in July, and this one definitely looks much, much further along. And we are ending back over at Universal Orlando, where they have a new hotel opening this summer as well. This one opens very soon, June 27th, the Surfside Inn at Endless Summer Resort. So this is an overview picture. This is the Surfside right here. These buildings, this is where the little pool is going. Looks kind of like a fish or surfboard, maybe surfboard. This is the other side. This is the dock side. Just across the road. This one will not be opening until summer of 2020. Obviously, it's not nearly as far along as Surfside. Now, these are not within walking distance of Universal Orlando. Here you can actually see the parking garages for Universal Orlando, the path over, and then this is City Walk right there. The Hard Rock Hotel you can kind of make out back there too. So this will be bus service only to get over to Universal, although presumably not too long a bus ride that is not that far away. I have a closer picture of the pool area and then a ground picture where you can see how done these actually look from up close. Well, they've only got 2 more months till it opens, so hopefully it is very close to being done. And that is it. I know that was a lot, and that honestly wasn't even everything. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, why don't you like, and if you're not subscribed to either our YouTube page or touringplans.com, remedy both of those. Subscribing to the YouTube channel is super easy. Just click the button. Go ahead, I'll wait. Okay, I won't wait. I'm not patient, but click the button, and subscribing to Touring Plans is really worth the money if you are going to any of these places. It is an invaluable resource. So go ahead and do that too, and thank you very much for watching, and make sure you be excellent to each other.